welcome back to another Money Tip Monday. Today we're going to be talking about what it really means to have historically low interest rates. Now before we get into that, I am going to ask you to subscribe, like, and comment. We love getting the feedback and want to keep it coming. Now back to interest rates. If you have been somebody who's been in the market to refinance or purchase a house in the last 20 years, you have probably heard over and over that rates are historically low, the lowest they've ever been. Buy now, refi now, you're never gonna see the bottom again. And I think that it's really, really confusing because over the course of 20 years, when you hear that over and over and over again, it kind of loses its luster. And I know personally, I get calls from clients all the time that have said, hey, I'm just waiting for the bottom. I think interest rates are gonna drop. And they just have no real idea of what goes into interest rate market, how they can predict this. It's just a sentiment because all they've ever known for the last 20 years is that interest rates keep going down. Now, the psychology has changed a little bit over the last 2 years, right? But it isn't that mainstream, right? We hear the Fed is raising interest rates, the Fed is raising interest rates, but we haven't really seen that have a direct impact on mortgage rates yet. You need to have some background on what people are looking at when they talk about historic rates. And they're really referencing like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and HUD, and their charts for where the average mortgage rate for their particular product, but they're comparing those on average, right, for each of their particular servicing portfolios. And so what we need to take into account is that over the last 40 years, we have seen interest rates go from, 9% 40 years ago, 11% 30 years ago, 8% 20 years ago, 6.26% 10 years ago. And then back in 2016, interest rates were actually on average 3.6%, right? That is historically low. That's actually the bottom of the market. We have actually seen interest rates increase. In fact, in 2017, the average interest rate was 4.1, and then in 2018, we're at 4.5. So I think that overall, when you're wanting to explain this concept, is it a good time to buy? Are rates low? Yes, on a 30-year bell curve, absolutely. We have historically low rates. In the last 5 years, we do not have historically low rates, right? It just depends on the length of time, right, that you're measuring interest rate curve. I have been in markets, like when I entered back in 2002, where interest rates, historically the lowest they'd ever been, were 7.5%. And I saw them go from 7.5, 6.5, 5.5. I remember when 5.25 was like literally the lowest interest rates that people had ever heard of, and they were losing their minds. So I just want you guys to know that yes, right now, if they're in the mid-4s, is it a good time to buy? Absolutely, if you can afford it, if it's the right time for your family. There's so many other variables, but I just want you to understand what historically low interest rates mean for you as a consumer, just to be an educated person on the economy and rates. So I hope today's video was helpful and informative and just kind of just lifted the curtain behind a concept that I feel like is just very, very, very confusing. If there is more stuff that you'd like me to talk about or, just be transparent about, I'd love to hear it below. If it impacts your money, it's definitely something that we want to talk about on Money Tips. So let me know below. I appreciate your feedback, and you'll see me next Monday.